VGK has a real chance to put a stranglehold on this series tonight, but Colorado is one of the toughest teams in the league to beat twice in a row. That tension is exactly what makes tonight's Game 2 of the Western Conference Final feel like a pressure cooker.
You're Locked On Golden Knights, your daily podcast on the Vegas Golden Knights, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Tony Dasco and Chris Gawlik from Las Vegas coming up ahead on today's show. Our Game 2 preview in the Western Conference Final, adjustments for Game 2, and WTF What the Friday with your comments and more. We are brought to you today by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if your first bet wins. Head to FanDuel.com. And please make sure to tune in Monday through Friday, 1 o'clock, and you can catch our show on the Silver State Sports and Entertainment Network. SSSEN can be found on Cox Cable Channel 77 and on YouTube TV. We are so ready for Game 2 of the Western Conference Final tonight at Ball Arena. I doubt VGK is content with a split after winning Wednesday's first game 4-2 to take the home ice advantage, I should say, away from the Avalanche. And the Avs yesterday said that they are not panicking, but they know that they have to play a much better game this evening. Only one time, Chris, in over 3 months, has this Avs team lost back-to-back games, and that was in March. VGK will try to neutralize the Avs speed like they did in the opener, and some even believed that the Golden Knights were the faster team in Game 1, and the Golden Knights played a really tight defensive structure for the most part. The Avalanche's Nazem Kadri crediting VGK yesterday by saying that the Golden Knights gave Colorado little time and space.
Yeah, so I talked about like the high dangers and everything, and the last game was 18-7 in favor of Colorado. And you look at that, you're like, wow, this is not necessarily the best recipe for success, but the high dangers were 10-1 in favor of Colorado in the third period. So point being is the Golden Knights were pretty even keel with respect to high danger chances and scoring chances in general in the first two periods. The most important box that got checked for me happened during the first period of Game 1, and it was the fact that the Golden Knights were able to simply hang with the Avalanche. Listen, any Golden Knights fan, we were concerned, and we're still concerned, and it's okay to be concerned. The Avs are a great team, but the concern was the Avs blowing out the Golden Knights 3-0 in the first period or something, and it really having this David versus Goliath feel, and that wasn't the case. These were two even teams throughout the game. Goaltending, I think, was one of the key differences. But the Golden Knights can hang. They can hang in this series. So now we'll see, like you said in the open, this is a huge opportunity for the Golden Knights. It's not going to use must win. I think Bednar was even asked about that, but you're not going to use must win in a situation like this, but it's pretty close to a must win for the Avalanche, which takes some of that pressure off the Golden Knights, Tony.
Yeah, under Torts, this defensive structure has definitely changed. And offensively, VGK against the Avalanche scored 3 goals off the rush in Game 1. And we're wondering if that can continue.
100%. And Golden Knights scoring off the rush and the transition, that's kind of Colorado's MO, right? So the Golden Knights were able to beat them at their own game. Avalanche had their chances, and they certainly had VGK backing off a little bit coming through the neutral zone. But like you said, the defensive structure, and I am really curious once, this season comes to an end, hopefully for about not another 3.5 to 4 weeks for the Golden Knights. But I am curious once Tortorella pulls down this guard that's around him, if you will, at these pressers. I am really curious to hear about what he did change with the team. We can watch, and obviously we can make our own guesses and assumptions and everything, but it'll be real interesting to hear it from his words to say, this is what, this is one of the biggest things that we did. This is what I saw. This is why we did it. And then hear the players react to it, because unfortunately Tortorella doesn't give you much in the pressers, and that's his right. That's fine. You listen to Bednar on the Colorado side, his pressers are wonderful. They really give you a look into what's happening with the Avalanche. I enjoy him as a coach, and again, we're not taking anything away from Tortorella, the way he handles himself. Tortorella's old school, and that's fine. But yeah,
On the injury front, Mark Stone was not on the ice for the optional skate for the Golden Knights yesterday. With a win already in the bag, why risk further injury to Stone? I think he might rest a couple of more days and return home for game three. The Golden Knights missed Stone on the power play. And to add more grit in the lineup, while VGK continues to win minus Stone, we aren't sure if Colorado can win without the services of Cale Makar, who missed game one with the shoulder injury. Makar was on the ice yesterday for the Avs, Chris. He could be back in the lineup for game two, pain or not. Without Makar, the Avalanche, they lose their best transition weapon, their best defensive stabilizer, and the player that keys their power play unit.
my assumption on the Mark Stone side first is yesterday's skate was optional. I believe it was Dylan Coghlan, the only player who was out there besides the healthy scratches. So if Mark Stone was going through, some type of whatever wording you want to use, but if Mark Stone was trying to get back in the game shape and everything, I think he would have been out there yesterday with the scratches. So I'm gonna project Mark Stone possibly to play tonight. I'm gonna
You
go
think he'll
80.
play?
I'm gonna go 75-25. Mark Stone
Wow.
plays tonight.
I
On
was
the
thinking the other way,
No,
the
I think
other
Mark Stone plays
direction.
tonight.
They already
Um,
have a win, though, in the
Get 2
series. Why
wins.
risk it
Get 2 wins.
in the series? You
Because
got
if they're
2
they're not
wins.
risking Tony, they're not gonna risk him if there's a concern of re-aggravation. They will if he's ready, he's gonna get out there. On the Makar side, I've said this a million times, how effective is he going to be? And not that the Avalanche looked past game 1 and thought they were gonna win that game easily, but I do wonder if the game plan was sit Makar until, the Avalanche lose a game this series. So is Makar coming back too
Makar will
quickly
be
is
back.
probably the bigger question,
I
and
think he'll be back.
I
He
think
has
he
to
might
be.
be back, and the Golden Knights have a mission to do. I've been very clear about my perspective of it. They even said on Sportsnet, Tony.
Oh,
That was my
geez.
uncle on the Sportsnet feed.
I didn't feel that in game one, that it was a physical game or as
The
physical
whole
as I
playoffs,
thought.
Tony. The
I
whole
thought it
playoffs
might
haven't
be
been
more
physical.
physical. VGK actually out-hit the Avalanche 34-31, and I felt as though most of Colorado's hits came early on in that first period.
The Tortorella mindset, I think he's got some Phil Jackson Zen going on or something with this team because you saw a little bit of anger, I think, in the Utah series. I thought we saw less in the Anaheim series. I thought it was minimal in game 1 of the Colorado series thus far. Now, that could change on a dime, obviously. Nazem Kadri can do something to piss off the world, and all of a sudden, we have fight night in Colorado or something like that. But first, the Golden Knights, they've avoided all of this. And I thought actually slowing the game down, muddying it up, after the whistle shenanigans, I thought that actually favored the Golden Knights a little bit more. And you thought Tortorella might have had a little bit of that in him as well. But, the Golden Knights are just kind of out there doing their thing and taking what's given to them. And it's working so far.
Carter Hart will be in net again tonight for the Golden Knights.
You think?
He has 9 starts in the playoffs of greater than a 900 save percentage. 9 starts in the playoffs of greater than a 900 save percentage. He stopped 12 out of 14 high dangers in game 1. But in the past 3 games, get this, this shows the improvement, I believe, in Carter Hart. In 5-on-5, he has an unheard of 976 save percentage over 3 games. In 5 versus 5, 976 save percentage the past 3 games.
It's remarkable, and I'm running out of different things to say about Carter Hart. I'm glad you keep bringing the stats because I just talk about what he's doing with his rebound control and his poise and everything. So it's a huge edge for the Golden Knights, and Wedgwood was not the best version of himself. So we'll see. There's questions on the Colorado goaltending side, but ho hum on the Golden Knights side. Knock on whatever this desk is made out of. That The Golden Knights only have to use one goalie in these playoffs. And I don't mean that to say anything negative about Aiden Hill. I just mean that it would be really nice if the Golden Knights can get through a playoff without any goaltender injury drama or bad play.
Coming up next, we've got our adjustments for Game 2. Stay with Locked On Golden Knights. If you've got a sweet tooth like I do, you know how tough it is to find that perfect treat without all the sugar. That's why Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy Shot brings that nostalgic flavor back in an entirely new way. This is that classic cotton candy taste that you remember, but with a tasty caffeine boost and zero sugar. It's a quick, easy way to satisfy that sweet craving while keeping things simple and on the go. I have always loved cotton candy, but I can't be eating sweets all day. This is a perfect alternative. The flavor really does bring that throwback fruity vanilla vibe, and it is surprisingly smooth, and I like how convenient it is too. It's just a small portable shot that I could grab whenever I need a little pick-me-up, and it's become my go-to when I want something sweet without going overboard. So bring on the sweetness with Cotton Candy 5-Hour Energy Shots. They are available online now at 5hourenergy.com or at Amazon. Welcome back. Sleepless in Las Vegas. Tony Cardasco along with Chris Gawlik. We appreciate you making us your first listen of the day. Thank you so much for tuning in. Crazy night last night. Went over to see our good friends from No Doubt, which was so fun. And thanks again to everyone for hooking up those terrific seats. And I was there with a bunch of my music friends, and just a really good night. And if you have a chance, check that show out at the Sphere. It really is a lot of fun. The cool thing was there were a lot of kids in the crowd, and they know every single word. I think it's good parenting. They know every single word to most of the songs, and they're singing along and dancing and having a really good time. I find that to be incredible, because music discovery today is so much different than when we were growing up, because you have that music on TikTok and across social media too, along with their parents playing that music in their homes. So I think that's a really cool thing.
Nothing better than watching a 12-year-old kid rocking out at a Pearl Jam concert. And
So
last time I saw
unbelievable.
No Doubt was 96 at the Aragon Ballroom, I think.
Wow. Geez, that's great though. Yeah.
The Brawl Room, Eric Eron. Sorry, the Brawl Room.
The Brawl Room. It is definitely timeless music. Adjustments for Game 2. VGK number 1 has got to figure out a way to stop turning the puck over. I mean, 23 giveaways in that first game, Chris. They need to protect the puck, especially in the defensive end. It's a major concern. I would like to see VGK to stop giving up the puck so much, especially, again, when they really have to try to clear it out of the zone there. And is this a result of being too aggressive at times?
Well, so yes and no. I mean, on the defensive side, the Golden Knights had 10 of those turnovers. McNabb, Hannafin, 2 apiece, then Eichel, Hurdle, Theodore Carlson, Barbashev, Cole Smith with 1 defensive zone giveaway. So sure, is that aggression, trying to make a move with the puck, beat someone one-on-one? Okay, is it a bad pass? Whatever it may be, it certainly is something that needs to be corrected. The Avalanche don't need any help scoring. Their goal differential was 91 or something stupid like that in the regular season. It was phenomenal. So you can't make it any easier on them, because they're going to create plenty of scoring chances. I don't think the Golden Knights are going to keep them off the board for the first 2 periods. It'd be great if they did, but I don't think that's a reasonable reality. I don't think the Golden Knights are going to go up 3-0 this game either. So make it as difficult as possible. And I did same thing. And on the other side, Avalanche were credited for 9 giveaways, 6 of which in the defensive zone. No Avalanche player had greater than 1 giveaway. So on the flip side, Golden Knights need to clean up their defensive zone giveaways, and a little more pressure on the Avalanche, maybe create a couple more defensive zone giveaways.
The Golden Knights have to continue to clog up the passing and shooting lanes. Gabe Landeskog said right after the game that VGK did a terrific job in clogging things up.
Yeah, and on the Avalanche side as well, we saw McKinnon get upset. He kept talking about execution, execution, execution. Well,
Five
the reason
times
they
I
didn't
told you.
execute,
5 times.
yeah, no, 5 times, and actually the last time wasn't even a question about execution. It was more a little different there. I think it was actually Lazarus. I know it wasn't Lazarus. It was someone else that hit him right there. But point being is whatever the Golden Knights did, they screwed up the Avalanche's execution. They muddied things up. The Avalanche's power play did not have a lot going. You call them avalanches. I say avalanches. Is that the right way to? I guess the thing would come after the yes. Anyway, moving on from that. Don't worry about me.
Yeah.
Tony's the one who has no sleep. I'm the one talking like a fool over here. But point being is the Golden Knights did something to screw up the Colorado execution.
Don't say
Which
that. 5 times.
5 times. I think I got 5 times in there. So,
I think you did.
yeah, Golden Knights, more of what they did to stifle the Avalanche and keep McKinnon frustrated is probably what I could have said instead of using a 48-second run-on sentence.
Okay, so if I am Jared Bednar, I would make some of these changes.
People
I
are
would
gonna love
start.
you for this, Tony.
I
They're
would
gonna love you
start
for this.
Arturi Lehkonen on the top line. Martin Necas, they got to get him started. He really was invisible, right, in that first game. And I would move Gabe Landeskog off of that top line. We're going to see Bednar put lines in a blender, and he definitely has to find the right combination. If there is no Makar, I have to believe they're going to insert Alex Gagne for more grit, sandpaper. Again, big guy, 6'4", and will just, I would feel bad if I'm William Karlsson. He'll get hit at least 4 or 5 more times in this game.
So that's a good observation as far as potential either lineup changes as far as new faces in or changing the lines around. We saw game 2 against the Anaheim Ducks, Quenneville, 2 players out, 2 players in, and the Golden Knights, they lost that game. And it looked like Quenneville was the better coach. At least he outcoached Tortorella in the second game, and that's when you're starting to wonder what direction this Ducks series is going to go. So can Tortorella be ahead of the adjustments and potential lineup changes for the Avalanche? And that's probably the biggest game within the game that's going to happen tonight, because the Avalanche is not going to be more of the same. Whether Makar comes back, it won't be more of the same, or if Makar doesn't come back, other pieces might be coming in out of this lineup, players moving up and down in the lineup as well. So can Tortorella be ready for that is probably, if we're doing a keys of the game segment, that's probably my number one right there.
I just hope that in game 2, the officiating is just much better. I'd much rather that they're swallowing the whistles than they're making.
It's loser talking.
Well, the weak penalties, right, on Ivan Barbashev, that was not a hold. That was not a hold.
I thought he cross-checked him in the lower back is what it really was.
He cross-checked him, yes. He definitely
It was a penalty. We can agree on that.
Okay, fair. And then Rasmussen, the dive on the Ross Colton shove in the face. That was an absolute embellishment. And
it was a sell.
That led to a VGK to a goal there for the Golden Knights. And I don't want this to decide this series. I think the temperature will be going up. I believe we'll see more physicality, but I surely don't want to see officiating come into play.
Well, I don't like the Barbashev sell, but the thing is, everyone does it now. Anytime there's any
you mean the Rasmussen sell.
Anytime, whatever I said. But point being is, anytime these hockey players with fake teeth, anytime they get touched anywhere in their face, they drop like a sack of potatoes. And that's Golden Knights players, that's Avalanche players. Like, this is not a Golden Knights thing. So you guys can torch Tony for giving the Avalanche the keys to the game. But I'm simply saying I don't like when any team takes a dive, when there's any type of contact with their glorious face that's probably had 147 stitches run through it in the last 15 years of their hockey playing career. So on both sides, I don't like that. But if you don't do it, you're giving up an advantage as well right there. So Anderson, he drew the penalty, and you know what? Fine. And maybe an Avalanche player will do it and it'll even up tonight, or maybe it won't. But it's the right thing. I hate to say it like that, but that's the right thing.
I think we're going to see an early goal in this game. Oh, by the way,
which team, Tony?
I think the Avalanche get out. They get that early jump.
By the way,
Carter Hart, 358 saves. Did you know that in the playoffs?
Are you starting
Did you know?
WTF early, Tony?
Yes, I'm starting it early. He was a better goalie in game one, but did you know that Carter Hart had 358
I heard that on a podcast.
It was on the Golden Knights Twitter feed. They like to steal stuff from the show. Who else would come up and conjure that up where Carter Hart had 358 saves? We're just beginning with What the Friday. More ahead on Locked On Golden Knights. Game Time makes it incredibly easy to find tickets, even for those high-demand playoff games for the NHL in just a few taps. And with the Game Time guarantee, you know that you're getting 100% authentic tickets. They're delivered on time and at the best price. And you can check out the Game Time app today and check out some of these NHL playoff matches. There are some incredible seats available, even last minute, and even for the games that you think were impossible to get into. The app is so easy to use. You can find tickets fast, and the pricing is all in. So what you see is what you pay. There's no surprise fees. One of our favorite features is the seat view. You can actually see what your view will look like before you buy, which makes a very huge difference. And the zone deals are awesome. You pick the section. Game Time picks the seats, and you save money. Plus, with the Game Time lowest price guarantee and ticket coverage, you definitely will feel confident every time you buy tickets through Game Time. So take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time today. Download the Game Time app, create an account, I should say, and utilize the promo code, which is Locked On, and you will get $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the redeem code Locked On, spelled out, for $20 off. Back on this edition of Locked On Golden Knights from Las Vegas, Tony Dasco and Chris Gawlik. We appreciate you tuning in. Subscribe to our Locked On Golden Knights YouTube channel. I'll start off our What the Friday WTF with the next time Riley Smith will get a start is when he captains the VGK Battle for Vegas softball team. WTF. Sorry, I had to do that. That was bad.
Poor Riley Smith.
Riley Smith.
So yesterday's presser, somehow Brandon Saad was the dominator of the discussion points. And he had 8-10 of ice time and 7-something in the game before that. Had a nice assist, but talk about Brandon Saad. Like there's a lot going on, and this isn't anything on the local media by any means. This is more about Tortorella just kind of justifying Brandon Saad being out there instead of Riley Smith. And Tortorella can make his decision. The Golden Knights have done very, very well, but I don't know if I want to hear that much about Brandon Saad when there's a lot of other things. So clearly Tortorella has his guys in Saad and obviously Carter Hart, however you said that earlier.
Carter Hart,
out, I guess.
Carter Hart.
And by the way, I just hope someone in life appreciates me the same way that
they appreciate
Tortorella
me
does when he calls Carter Hart's name in the pregame. He gives him the biggest smile, and it's like it's the sun out there. It's it's fun to watch, and that's more of an appreciation thing. I'm not saying anything negative by any means. It's he appreciates Hart, and Hart's been through it. Hart's showing up and showing out. So good on Hart. WTF there. Death, taxes, and the Carolina Hurricanes no showing in the Eastern Conference Final are the only certainties in life. David Staples puts out a poll about Darnell Nurse, and there's 4 options about should they keep him, should they trade him, blah, 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 blah. Golden Knight fans, we have 8 hours left. Vote responsibly. Go on David Staples' handle, just like it sounds like, Staples the store. Vote. Darnell Nurse is a very important asset to Edmonton Oilers hockey. Everyone talked about how influential the media is lately and how people, the NHL, is watching what I say and stuff because I got the Golden Knights fined. Well, I'm trying to repay that by having the Edmonton Oilers keep Darnell Nurse. So help me in my way to keep Darnell Nurse in Edmonton. And a lot of comments about my cat Ashley, about the family cat Ashley making an appearance yesterday. So
yeah, scratch fever. Yeah. Ted Nugent or your cat Ashley there scratching up the screen.
Love it.
WTF? Bear with me here. I've got a
Oh,
couple.
jeez.
Mark Lazarus of The Athletic, kudos to him for firing away a pair of questions at Johnny Torts at the Wednesday presser. How he feels about the Bruce Cassidy situation as a member of the coaching fraternity. And he also asked about the Flyers giving Torts permission to talk to the Golden Knights. Torts answered, no comment. I do have a serious one here, and we do want to send out
Oh,
condolences
God.
here
How
in
do we
Las
wait this long
Vegas.
for this, Tony?
Well, I just wanted to wait till the end, sort of.
Okay.
Condolences to the Kyle Busch family on his sudden passing yesterday. The winningest all-time NASCAR driver from right here in Las Vegas. Both he and his brother Kurt, they put Las Vegas on the map in auto racing and in the NASCAR world. One of the top athletes to ever come out of Las Vegas. I have just a quick story. I was the marketing director at the old Las Vegas Speedway Park, which was there before they built that monstrosity called Las Vegas Motor Speedway. And we had 7 tracks, I think, out there. The oval still remains today. That's the bull ring, Chris, and the short track. But the Busch brothers used to be out there. They were just young bucks. They were out there racing the legends. They were racing karts, whatever they could drive. They were just this high, like literally. And I think that Kirk got busted for underage racing out there one time. There, they were just 2 young kids having fun, driving at the racetrack always. And Kyle was remembered before game 1 of the Eastern Conference Final in Raleigh last night. And I put out a tweet that said that I hope VGK holds a
There's
moment of
no doubt,
silence.
Tony, that's happened. There's no doubt, Tony. That's
Okay,
100%
well,
gonna happen.
and the reason why I was adamant about it, just so the fans know, was because there are a lot of Canadians around that club that might not understand that influence. Yes, he
Nah,
cranked the siren once.
he's
Okay, you think they understand? I hope so. Let's hope.
yeah. Oh,
And
100%. 100%.
rest in peace, Durango High School legend Kyle Busch.
Yeah, real fast. Me and Chris has been asking questions about that, and we watched this video last night. It was him racing with his son. His son's 9 years old, so he
Oh
didn't get
my
busted for
gosh.
underage driving.
You
But
see that?
I don't know
Oh,
when that happened. It wasn't long ago. And Kyle Busch just recently a comment after he won a truck race. You never know when it's going to be your last. So that hits you.
yeah, for sure. Definitely a tough time here in the Valley yesterday. A lot of folks I know were close to the Busch family and to Kyle Busch. Thanks for making Locked On Golden Knights your first listen of the day. Thanks for making us the #1 sports podcast network. Sign up today for the Locked On Everydayer Club, Locked On Everydayer Club, or whatever, lockedonpodcast.com/everydayer. See you. We'll be back tomorrow.
Maybe.